The stars looked cold tonight. Mina pressed her hand against the thick glass of her quarters window and watched the distant suns twinkle in the darkness. Each point of light reminded her of Wu's eyes when he smiled. The memory made her chest hurt. Her skin began to glow soft blue, then faded to gray. This happened every night now. The other Valerie would say she was broken if they saw her like this. Good thing she was alone. Process and move forward, her supervisor had told her again today. 6 months is enough time to heal from any loss. But Mina could not move forward. Every morning she woke up and forgot for just 1 second that Wu was gone. Then reality hit her like a cold wave. He would never come home from his mining shift. He would never hum the old songs while fixing their broken food maker. He would never hold her hand and tell her about his day. The door chimed softly. Mina quickly wiped her face and turned away from the window. "Come in." Sola stepped inside. Her daughter looked tired. The girl's skin patterns were dim too, but for different reasons. Sola was worried. She had been worried for months. "Mother, you missed dinner again." "I was not hungry." "You are never hungry anymore." Mina sat down on her sleeping platform. The room felt too big with just the two of them. Before, when Wu lived here, it had felt perfect. Now everything felt wrong. "I brought you some food," Sola said. She set down a small container on the table. "The sweet bread you like." "Thank you." But Mina did not touch the food. She stared at her hands instead. Wu used to hold these hands. He used to trace the patterns on her skin with his fingers and say they looked like star maps. Sola sat down, next to her mother. "Tell me about him." "What?" "Tell me about father. You never talk about him anymore." Mina's chest tightened. It is better not to think about the past. Thinking about him makes the pain worse. But I want to remember him too. You should focus on your studies, on the future, not on things that are gone. This was what everyone told her to do. Focus on work. Focus on tomorrow. Do not think about yesterday. Do not feel sad. Sadness was not useful. Sadness did not help anyone. But late at night, when Sola was asleep and the station was quiet, Mina could not stop the tears. They came every night like a tide she could not control. She would cry until her body was empty, then cry some more. Sola stood up. Her young face looked frustrated. "This is not right, Mother." "What is not right?" "The way we handle death. The way everyone tells you to forget father and act normal. He was important, he mattered, but everyone acts like he never existed." Mina felt a flash of fear. "Do not say such things. If your teachers hear you talking like this, they will say I am thinking wrong thoughts. I know." Sola walked to the window. But what if they are wrong? What if we are all wrong? The next morning, Mina went to work at the trade center. Her job was to help coordinate shipments between different species. She used to be good at this work. Before Wu died, she could handle 20 different problems at once and never make mistakes. Now, she could barely focus on one task. "Transaction 4471 needs your approval," her assistant said. Mina stared at the screen. The numbers looked fuzzy. She had read the same report 3 times but could not remember what it said. "Mina? Yes, approve it. But there is an error in the cargo weights. The shipment will not fit in the transport." Mina closed her eyes. This should be easy to fix. 6 months ago, she would have spotted the problem right away. Now her mind felt full of thick fog. "Fix it," she said. Her assistant looked worried but did not say anything. This happened more and more often. Mina knew people were talking about her. They whispered when she walked by. They said she was not healing properly. At lunchtime, Commander Day called her to his office. "Sit down, Mina." Day was old for a Velhari. His skin was silver white and his patterns barely showed anymore. He had been her supervisor for 5 years. Before Wu died, Dee had respected her work. "Your performance reviews are concerning," he said. 3 major errors this week. Your response times are slow. You seem distracted. I am trying to do better. Are you? Because from where I sit, it looks like you are choosing to stay stuck in grief. The word choosing hit Mina like a slap. I am not choosing anything. Every being in the galaxy faces loss, Mina. The difference between successful species and failed ones is how quickly they adapt, how quickly they let go of useless emotions and return to productive behavior. Mina's hand started to shake. I am trying to let go. No, you are not. You are holding on to pain because it feels familiar. This is a weakness that will destroy your career if you do not fix it soon. What do you want me to do? Report to medical tomorrow morning. Dr. Han has a new treatment for prolonged grief. Responses. It will help you process the loss correctly and move forward. Treatment. Mina knew what that meant. They would change her brain chemistry, make the memories of Wu feel distant and unimportant, make her forget how much she loved him. Is that an order? She asked. Consider it a strong suggestion. For now. That evening, Mina's sister Ria came to visit. Ria was everything Mina was supposed to be. Smart, successful, emotionally stable. She had lost her own mate 3 years ago and recovered within 2 months. I heard about your meeting with Dai, Ria said. She sat down and looked at Mina with concern. This cannot continue. I know. Do you? Because you look worse every time. I see you, your skin is pale. You have lost weight. Sola is worried sick about you. Mina glanced toward Sola's room. Her daughter was supposed to be studying, but Mina knew she was listening. The treatment Dr. Han offers is very advanced. Ria continued, it will not hurt. You will still remember Wu, but the memories will not cause you pain anymore. You can function normally again. What if I do not want to function normally? Ria looked shocked. What do you mean? What if the pain is important? What if forgetting how to love deeply is worse than remembering and hurting? That is grief talking, not logic. Pain serves no purpose once the threat is gone. Wu is dead. Feeling sad about it will not bring him back. It will only harm you and Sola. Mina looked at her sister's calm face. Ria meant well. She was trying to help. But something about her words felt wrong. Cold. Empty. When you lost Kyo, did you love him? Of course I loved him. Do you love him now? Ria frowned. He is gone. Love is for living beings. So you just stopped? I processed the loss and redirected my emotional energy toward productive activities. It is what healthy adults do. Later that night, after Ria left and Sola went to bed, Mina sat by her window again. The stars looked the same as always, cold and distant and beautiful. She thought about Ria's words, about Dr. Han's treatment, about Commander Day's disappointment. Everyone wanted her to be normal again. Everyone wanted her to forget how much Wu meant to her. But when she tried to imagine feeling nothing when she thought of him, something inside her rebelled. The love she felt for Wu was not a disease. It was the most real thing in her life. Even if it hurt, it was proof that what they had together mattered. As tears started to fall again, Mina wondered if she was truly broken, or if everyone else was missing something important. Something that made life worth living in the first place. In her room, Sola lay awake and listened to her mother cry. Tomorrow, she decided, she would start looking for answers. There had to be other species in the galaxy who understood loss differently. There had to be someone who could help her mother without taking away her love. Sola had no idea that her search would lead her to the human quarters. She had no idea that everything was about to change. Sola had never been to the outer ring of Kepler Station before. Her mother always told her to stay in the Velhari sections where everything was clean and quiet and proper. But today, Sola did not want proper. She wanted answers. The corridors here looked different, louder, more colorful. Strange smells drifted from food vendors she did not recognize. Alien voices spoke in languages that hurt her ears. But Sola kept walking. She was looking for other species who handled death differently than the Velhari. There had to be someone, in this giant station, who understood that love should not just disappear when someone died. First, she visited the Korthak section. The Korthak were tall and gray with extra arms. Sola found one of their elders sitting in a meditation chamber. "Excuse me," she said. "I want to ask about grief. How do your people handle losing someone they love?" The elder's 4 eyes focused on her. "We absorb the deceased's memories into our collective consciousness. The individual pain becomes shared knowledge. Very efficient. But what about missing them? What about feeling sad?" "Sadness is deleted during the absorption process." "Why keep useless emotions?" Sola left feeling disappointed. The Korthak were just like her people. Maybe all advanced species thought the same way. Next she tried the Zenthari quarter. The Zenthari looked like walking crystals that chimed when they moved. Their representative explained their death customs. "When a Zenthari dies, we shatter their body crystal and mix the pieces into our building materials. They become part of our homes and temples. Physical immortality." "That sounds beautiful," Sola said. "But do you feel sad when they die?" "Sadness would crack our crystal bodies. We use harmonic frequencies to maintain emotional stability. No negative feelings allowed." Another dead end. Sola visited 6 more species that day. The results were always the same. Delete the pain. Process efficiently. Move forward. Forget the hurt. No one thought grief was anything but a problem to solve. By evening, Sola felt hopeless. Maybe her mother really was broken. Maybe love was supposed to just turn off when someone died. Maybe the whole galaxy was right and they were wrong. She was heading home through a corridor she had never seen before when she heard something strange. Crying, but not the quiet, hidden crying her mother did. This crying was loud and open. Sola followed the sound around a corner and stopped. A small human child sat on the floor with tears running down her face. An adult human knelt beside her. The adult was not telling the child to stop crying or to process her emotions correctly. Instead, she was just listening. "Tell me about Fluffy," the adult human said gently. "He was the best pet ever," the child sobbed. "He would sleep on my bed and purr when I was scared. And now he's gone forever and I'll never see him again." "That must hurt so much." "It does hurt. It hurts everywhere." "I know, sweetheart. It's okay to hurt when someone you love is gone." Sola could not believe what she was hearing. The adult human was encouraging the child to feel pain. She was saying it was okay to cry. She was not trying to fix anything or make the hurt go away. The human adult held the crying child and rocked her slowly. Fluffy was lucky to be loved so much. That's why it hurts so much now. Big love makes big sadness when we lose someone. Really? Really? The sadness shows how special Fluffy was to you? Sola watched in amazement as the child's crying slowly became softer. Not because the pain was gone, but because someone was sharing it with her. The adult human was not afraid of the child's grief. She was not trying to delete it or process it or make it disappear. After a while, the child stood up and wiped her face. "Thank you for listening, Nari." "Anytime, little one." "Anytime." As they walked away, Sola stood frozen in the corridor. Everything she had been taught about emotions was wrong. These humans were treating grief like it was normal, like it was natural, like it was even important. Over the next 3 days, Sola kept visiting the human section of the station. She hid behind corners and watched them. The humans did the strangest things. When someone was sad, other humans would sit with them and just listen. They did not offer solutions or treatments. They did not tell the sad person to move on or process efficiently. They just stayed close and let the person feel whatever they needed to feel. She saw humans gather in groups to share stories about people who had died. They would laugh and cry at the same time. They would talk about missing the dead person like missing them was a good thing, not a sickness. One evening, Sola was sitting in the observation deck watching ships come and go when a human sat down next to her. He was older than her mother, with kind eyes and hands that looked like they had worked hard for many years. "You've been watching us," he said. Sola's skin flashed pale with fear. It's okay. I'm curious about you too. I'm Tay." He held out his hand. Sola had heard that humans touched hands when they met. It seemed strange, but she reached out carefully. "I'm Sola." "Nice to meet you, Sola. What brings a young Velhari to the human quarters?" Should she tell him? Would he think she was crazy? Sola decided to take a chance. I'm trying to understand grief, she said. Tay's expression grew serious. That's a heavy topic. What do you want to know? My mother lost her mate 6 months ago. Everyone says she should be over it by now. They want to give her brain treatment to make the sadness go away. But watching your people, you don't think sadness is bad, do you? No, Tay said quietly. We don't. Why not? It hurts. It makes people less productive. It serves no purpose. Tay was quiet for a long moment. He looked out at the stars. 3 years ago, I lost my brother in the Centauri conflicts. He was my best friend. We grew up together, worked together, dreamed together. I'm sorry. Thank you. You know what's strange? I still miss him every day. Some days it hits me so hard I can barely breathe. Other days it's just a quiet ache in my chest. But I would never want that feeling to go away. Why not? Because missing him means I loved him. The sadness is proof that our relationship mattered. If I stopped feeling sad about losing him, I would lose the last connection I have to who he was. Sola felt something click in her mind. The pain is love. Grief is love with nowhere to go, Tay said. When someone dies, you still have all that love inside you, but the person who received it is gone, so it becomes sadness. But it's still love, just in a different form. My people think that's primitive. They think advanced beings should be able to turn off emotions when they're not useful. Maybe we are primitive, Tay smiled sadly. But I think there are different kinds of advancement. Your people have mastered technology and efficiency. We humans have mastered something else. What? Feeling deeply. Staying connected to love even when it hurts. Being brave enough to let our hearts break, Sola stared at him. Being brave enough to let our hearts break, she repeated. Your mother isn't broken, Sola. She's doing something incredibly brave. She's refusing to let go of love, even though keeping it hurts. For the first time in months, Sola felt hope rising in her chest. Her mother was not sick, she was not malfunctioning. She was loving her father so deeply that even death could not stop it. Tay, Sola said slowly, would you be willing to meet my mother? Tay looked surprised. Would she want to meet me? I don't know. But I think you might be the first person who could understand what she's going through. What if your people disapprove? I know interspecies contact can be complicated. Sola thought about Commander Day and Aunt Rhea and Dr. Han with his treatments. They would all be horrified if they knew what she was planning. But her mother was crying alone every night while everyone told her to stop loving her dead mate. Let them disapprove, Sola said. My mother needs to know she's not crazy. She needs to know that loving someone forever is not a disease. Tay nodded. Then I'll help however I can. As they sat together watching the stars, Sola felt something she had not felt in months. She felt like maybe, just maybe, there was a way to help her mother heal without forcing her to forget how to love. Tomorrow she would bring Tay home. Tomorrow, everything would change. She just hoped her mother would be brave enough to listen. Mina was staring at her work reports when the door chimed. She'd been reading the same page for 20 minutes without understanding any of it. The words kept blurring together like her thoughts. Come in, she called. Sola stepped inside, but she was not alone. Behind her stood a human male with brown hair and gentle eyes. Mina's skin flashed bright orange with shock. Sola, what is this? Mother, this is Tay. He's the human I told you about. You brought a stranger into our home? Mina stood up quickly. A human stranger? She had heard things about humans. They were emotional, unpredictable. Some Velhari said they were dangerous because they could not control their feelings properly. Others said they were just primitive. Please don't be angry, Sola said. I asked him to come. I thought maybe he could help. Help with what? Mina looked at the human. He was standing quietly near the door, not pushing forward or demanding attention. His face looked kind, but that meant nothing. We do not need help from outsiders. Mrs. Mina, Tay said softly. I'm sorry to bother you. Sola told me about your loss. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for your pain. Mina felt confused. He was apologizing for her pain, not for intruding. That was unexpected. You don't even know me, she said. No, but I know what it's like to lose someone important. If you'd rather I leave, I will. But if you want to talk about him, I'm willing to listen. Talk about who? Your mate. Wu, right? Sola says he was a good man. The sound of Wu's name from a stranger's mouth made Mina's chest tight. No one had spoken his name out loud in weeks. Everyone acted like saying it would make her worse. Why would you want to hear about him? She asked. Because he mattered to you. That makes him worth knowing about. Mina looked at Sola, who was watching with hopeful eyes. Then she looked back at Tay. There was something in his expression that she had not seen in months. Interest. Real interest. Not the fake concern that meant people wanted her to hurry up and get better. I suppose you can sit down, she said. Tay smiled and took a seat across from her. Sola sat down too, trying not to look too excited. What was Wu like? Tay asked. Such a simple question. But no one had asked it since he died. They asked how she was feeling. They asked if she was sleeping. They asked when she would return to normal. No one asked about Wu himself. He was... Mina started, then stopped. Why do you want to know? Because understanding who he was helps me understand why losing him hurts so much. Mina felt something crack open inside her chest. He was gentle. Everyone thinks mining is work for rough people, but Wu was the gentlest person I ever knew. He would bring me flowers he found growing in the station's gardens. He would hum while he worked around our quarters. What kind of songs did he hum? Old Velhari songs. Songs his grandmother taught him when he was small. He had a beautiful voice. Mina's eyes started to blur. I can still hear it sometimes when I'm falling asleep. That sounds like a gift, Tay said. Being able to hear his voice in your memory. Most people say I should try not to think about things like that. They say remembering makes healing harder. What do you think? No one had asked her what she thought in months. They told her what she should think, what she should feel, what she should do. I think remembering his voice is one of the few good things I have left. Tell me more about him. And somehow, Mina found herself talking. She told Tay about how Wu always left her little notes before his shifts, how he would hold her hand when they watched the stars, how he made her laugh by doing terrible impressions of their neighbors. Tay listened to every word. He asked questions that showed he was really paying attention. What was Wu's favorite food? Did he have any hobbies? What were his dreams for the future? He wanted to save enough money to buy a small transport ship, Mina said. He wanted us to travel together and see different worlds. He said the mining job was just temporary. That sounds like a wonderful dream. It was just a dream. Now it will never happen. No, Tay agreed. But it shows he was a man who believed in the future, who had hope. That's a beautiful thing to remember about someone. For the first time in months, talking about Wu did not feel like picking at a wound. It felt like honoring him, like keeping him alive in the only way possible. They talked for 2 hours. Sola mostly stayed quiet, but Mina could see her daughter's skin patterns growing brighter as the conversation continued. Finally, Tay stood up to leave. Thank you for sharing him with me, he said. Wu sounds like he was a remarkable person. He was, Mina said. He really was. After Tay left, Mina sat in her chair feeling strange, lighter somehow, like a weight she had not realized she was carrying had been lifted. How do you feel, Mother? Sola asked. Different. I don't know how to explain it. Good different or bad different? Mina thought about it. Good different, I think. It felt nice to talk about him like that, like he was still real. Over the next few days, Tay came to visit again, and again. Each time he asked more questions about Wu. He wanted to know about their courtship, their favorite places on the station, the little arguments they used to have and how they solved them. Mina found herself looking forward to these visits. For the first time since Wu died, she had something to anticipate besides more sadness. But other people began to notice. "I heard you've been meeting with a human," Aunt Ria said during her weekly visit. Her voice was sharp with disapproval. "Sola introduced us. Why are you encouraging this unhealthy behavior? Talking about Wu constantly will only make your grief worse." "Actually, it makes me feel better." Ria looked shocked. "Better? Mina, this human is taking advantage of your emotional instability. Humans are known for this. They feed on drama and pain. Tay is not feeding on anything, he's just listening." "Listening to what? You rehashing the same sad stories over and over? This is exactly the kind of circular thinking that Dr. Han can fix with treatment." The next day at work, Commander Day called Mina to his office again. "I hear you've been associating with humans," he said. "Is that against regulations?" "No, but it's concerning. Especially given your current mental state, these humans are probably studying you, learning about Velhari emotional weaknesses." "Tay isn't studying me, he's helping me." "Helping you do what? Stay stuck in grief?" "Mina, I'm going to be direct. Your work performance has not improved. If anything, it's gotten worse since you started these meetings. I think this human is encouraging your dysfunction." "My dysfunction?" "Your inability to process loss normally. Your refusal to move forward. Your insistence on dwelling in the past." That evening, when Tay came to visit, Mina was quiet and tense. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Everyone thinks I'm getting worse because I talk to you. They think you're encouraging me to stay sick." "Do you think you're getting worse?" Mina considered this. "No, I think I'm getting different. But everyone wants me to get better in a specific way. Their way. And what way is that? Stop missing Wu. Stop thinking about him. Stop feeling sad that he's gone. Just forget him and move on." Tay was quiet for a moment. "Is that what you want to do?" "No." The word came out more forcefully than Mina expected. "I don't want to forget him. I don't want to stop loving him. I don't want to pretend he didn't matter." "Then don't." "But everyone says..." "Everyone else didn't love Wu. You did. Don't let them tell you how to honor that love." Suddenly, all the pressure and confusion and fear crashed over Mina at once. She started crying. Not the quiet, hidden crying she did at night, but deep, loud sobs that came from the bottom of her soul. "I miss him so much," she cried. "I miss him every second of every day, and everyone wants me to stop, but I can't stop, and I don't want to stop because stopping would mean he really is gone forever." Tay did not tell her to calm down. He did not offer solutions or suggest treatments. He just sat with her while she cried and said, I know it hurts. It's okay to hurt." When the crying finally stopped, Mina felt empty but somehow clean, like a storm had passed through her and washed something away. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For not trying to fix me." "You don't need fixing, Mina. You need time and space to love someone who's gone. There's nothing wrong with that." But as the days passed, the pressure from other Velhari grew stronger. Colleagues avoided her. Supervisors watched her with disapproval. Aunt Ria threatened to report her erratic behavior to the station authorities, and Dr. Han kept calling, reminding her that his treatment was still available whenever she was ready to be healthy again. Mina realized she was at a crossroads. She could give in to the pressure and get the treatment, let them change her brain so the pain would go away, become the kind of Velhari everyone wanted her to be, or she could choose something else, something that felt true to who she was and who Wu had been. But choosing the second path would mean going against everything her society believed about proper emotional behavior. It would mean trusting a human's understanding of grief over her own people's wisdom. It would mean being brave, enough to love forever even if it hurt. The choice was hers to make. The medical appointment was scheduled for tomorrow morning. Dr. Han had called 3 times to confirm. Commander Day had marked it as mandatory sick leave. Aunt Ria had even offered to come and hold Mina's hand during the procedure. Everyone was so helpful. so concerned, so ready to fix her. Mina sat in her quarters with the treatment consent forms spread across her table. All she had to do was sign them. Simple, easy. Tomorrow she would go to the medical bay. Dr. Han would adjust her brain chemistry. The pain would fade. The memories of Wu would become distant and manageable. She would return to work productive and efficient and normal. She would also stop loving him. "Are you going to sign them?" Sola asked quietly. Mina looked at her daughter. Over the past weeks, Sola had grown brighter and more confident. Learning about human emotions had helped her understand her own feelings better. She was no longer afraid of sadness or confusion. She had learned they were normal parts of loving someone. "I don't know," Mina said. "What does your heart tell you?" "My heart is not supposed to make decisions. Logic is supposed to make decisions." "What if they're both important?" Mina touched the consent forms. The paper felt cold under her fingers. "If I don't sign these, I might lose my job. People will think I'm unstable. Life will be much harder." "But you'll still be you." "Yes, I'll still be me." The door chimed. Tay's daily visit. Mina had come to depend on these conversations more than she cared to admit. They were the only time she felt truly understood. "Come in." Tay entered and immediately noticed the forms on the table. His expression grew serious. "Decision day?" he asked. "Tomorrow morning. If I show up." Tay sat down across from her. "Are you afraid?" "Terrified. But not of the treatment. I'm afraid of what I'll become if I get it. I'm afraid I'll forget why Wu mattered. I'm afraid I'll become someone who can walk past his pictures without feeling anything." "And if you don't get the treatment?" "I'm afraid everyone will abandon me. I'm afraid I'll be alone forever." "You won't be alone," Sola said firmly. "I'll stay with you no matter what you choose." "And you have other friends now, too," Tay added. "Word has been spreading about what we're doing here. Other people who have lost someone important are starting to ask questions." This was true. Over the past week, 3 different aliens had quietly approached Sola asking about the humans who understood sadness. A Korthak engineer whose partner had died in an accident. A Zenthari artist whose sister had been destroyed in a crystal storm. Even a Velhari from another section of the station whose son had been killed in military service. They all said the same thing, Sola explained. They said the official treatments made them feel empty, like they had lost the person twice, once to death and once to forgetting. "What did you tell them?" Mina asked. "I told them about you and Tay, about how talking about the people we love keeps them alive in our hearts. Some of them want to try it." Tay nodded. "We could start a group, a place where people can share memories and feelings without being told to get over them. Other humans on the station have offered to help." "A grief group," Mina said slowly. "For people who want to remember instead of forget." "Not just grief," Tay corrected. "Love. A love group. Because that's what this really is. It's about keeping love alive even after death." That evening, Mina made her decision. She took the consent forms and, one by one, tore them into small pieces. Each torn piece felt like a weight lifting from her shoulders. The next morning, she called in sick to work and did not go to her medical appointment. Dr. Han called twice. She did not answer. Instead, she went to the human section of the station with Sola and Tay. In a small meeting room, they gathered with 12 other beings who had lost someone important. Humans, Velhari, Korthak, Zenthari, and species Mina had never seen before. "Who would like to start?" Tay asked gently. An old Velhari male raised his hand. "My name is Kang. My son died 6 months ago in military service. They want me to get treatment to forget my pride in him, but I don't want to forget. I want to remember everything about who he was." One by one, they shared their stories. The Korthak engineer talked about his partner's laugh. The Zenthari artist showed them crystal sculptures she had made to honor her sister. A human freighter captain spoke about his wife who died of illness. As Mina listened, she realized something amazing. Every species, when allowed to feel freely, experienced love and loss in surprisingly similar ways. The differences they had been taught to believe in, that some species were more advanced because they could eliminate emotions, were lies. Everyone loved deeply. Everyone hurt when they lost someone important. Everyone wanted to honor the memory of those they had lost. The treatments and procedures and healing methods were not helping them advance. They were making them less than what they could be. 2 weeks later, Commander Day called Mina to his office again. She expected to be fired. Instead, she found him sitting with his head in his hands. "I got a report about your activities," he said without looking up. "I see. Unofficial therapy groups, encouraging emotional instability across multiple species, refusing medical treatment." He finally looked at her. "I should discipline you. Yes, you should. But I can't. Because 3 days ago my own grief counselor told me I should talk to you." Mina was shocked. "Your grief counselor? I lost 7 soldiers under my command last year. 7 young people who trusted me to bring them home safely. The standard military treatments helped me function, but they also made me feel empty, disconnected, like I had forgotten why their deaths mattered in the first place." Commander Day stood up and walked to his window. "My counselor, a human named Nari, she told me that forgetting them was not honoring them. She said a good commander carries his fallen soldiers with him forever, not as a burden but as a reminder of why every life matters." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying maybe we've been wrong about grief. Maybe we've been wrong about a lot of things." He turned back to her. "Your work performance has actually improved over the past 2 weeks. Your team reports that you're more understanding, more supportive. You seem to connect with people better now." This was true. Since refusing the treatment, Mina had found herself caring more about her colleagues' problems. When someone was struggling, she did not just offer efficient solutions. She listened. She understood. She helped in ways that actually mattered. Emotional intelligence, Tai had called it. The ability to understand and connect with what others are feeling. It makes you better at everything, not worse. Commander Day sat back down. "I want to make a proposal. The Station Council is starting to recognize that human emotional support methods are effective. They want to study them officially, create programs, train counselors." "What kind of proposal?" "I want you to head the new Interspecies Emotional Wellness Division, officially, with full station support." Mina could not believe what she was hearing. "You want me to teach other species how to grieve?" "I want you to teach other species how to love, how to feel deeply without breaking, how to be brave enough to stay connected to what matters most." 6 months later, Mina stood in the observation deck where she had first met Tay. The grief support groups had grown into something larger. The Station Council now officially recognized human-style emotional processing as a valid alternative to traditional treatments. Dozens of species were learning that feelings were not weaknesses to be eliminated, but strengths to be understood. Art and music and literature were flourishing as beings rediscovered the beauty of deep emotion. Diplomatic relationships had improved as species learned to truly understand each other's perspectives. Sola joined her at the window. "How do you feel today, Mother?" "I miss your father," Mina said honestly. "I miss him every day. But I also feel grateful that I loved him so much. The sadness proves that what we had was real and beautiful and worth keeping alive. He would be proud of you. He would be proud of us both." Mina smiled and put her arm around her daughter. "We learned something important, didn't we?" "What's that?" "That the humans were right. The most advanced thing any being can do is not to stop feeling. It's to feel deeply and bravely and completely, even when it hurts." Outside the window, ships from dozens of worlds docked and departed. Each one carried beings who were learning that love was not something to be processed and discarded, but something to be treasured and shared and kept alive forever. And in the quiet moments between arrivals, if you listened carefully, you could still hear Mina humming the old songs that Wu had taught her. Not sadly now, but with joy, because remembering someone you love is not a burden, it is a gift.